So right now you probably have an attractive coworker at your job, and you're thinking, "Whoa, should I ask this person out or should I pass the offer?" And this is from my personal experience and my advice to you, and from what I've seen over the years and from what I've observed. I can name you more cons than pros when it comes to dating a coworker. Con number one, and when I mean dating a coworker, it doesn't mean coworker. It could also be clients that are having a relationship with the company you're working with. So back in college, when I was doing security for this company, they would put me in spots like nightclubs, bars, or department stores, etc., etc. I was pretty much all over the place, and even at events like stadium events, like the games for the Eagles in Philadelphia, or other like tennis tournaments, like in the U.S. Open. I used to work as a security guard in the U.S. Open, and many times there are situations that present themselves where you're tempted to ask one of the bartenders out. Like, let's say, for example, you're doing security at a nightclub and one of the bartenders is giving you more attention than the other guards. You could either, and you could interpret this in so many ways. Like, she could just be friendly or she might actually be interested in you. But only one way to find out, which is a route that I never took, and I'll tell you why. I wouldn't be surprised if some of my former coworkers pursued a relationship with the bartenders, but personally, I just didn't because it's just gonna create an awkward environment. Like, let's say for example, you get into an argument or you get into a fight, and or you, heck, even worse, you break up. What's gonna happen? Like every weekend I go work at that bar, it's just gonna be an awkward situation. Just I'm not gonna look forward to going to work at that bar, and I'm gonna ask for a transfer, because the point of when you argue with somebody or you break up, the point of that situation, and this is if you want to get back together, is to let the distance grow between the two of you so that you can miss each other and then get back together. That's usually the point of breaking up or arguing with somebody. But in this case, it's gonna be hard if you're in a relationship with a coworker, with a client that has a relationship with your company. And not only that, but out of spite, some people, and I'm not saying everybody, but some people are very spiteful and they might do something to jeopardize your career, which leads me to number two. So let's say you want to pursue a relationship with a supervisor, manager, or heck, even the CEO. And trust me, it's very common. It's happened a lot in the past and it still happens today. A lot of CEOs, they do go out with their employees. So let's say for some odd reason, you and your CEO get into a fight or an argument, or you and your superior. And it's just going to be hard now because you're going to have to report to this person the very next day. It's going to create an awkward work environment for the two of you. And in extreme cases, sometimes you might get fired. And yeah, it sounds stupid, but this also does happen. You might get fired for breaking up with a superior. I know some companies, they have a policy where it's okay for you to date a fellow coworker, but preferably I just wouldn't. I know where some of you are coming from. I've had a lot of temptations in the past, and a lot of them I had to pass up. Going into con number three would be that, okay, you don't necessarily have to get into an argument or a fight, but everyone in the workplace will keep tabs on the two of you. They'll know everything about you, like what's going on in your life, where you're going, where you're dating, what restaurants you're eating at, where are you fucking, yeah, etc., etc. Everybody's gonna keep tabs on you, and they'll know when you're gonna have a fight, or when you guys are getting married, when's the honeymoon. Not only that, but the worst part is that it's gonna be nearly impossible for the two of you to get a vacation around the same time. Like, let's say, for example, you and your coworker or you and a supervisor want to take a vacation to somewhere like outside the United States or wherever, or a different state. But it's going to be very hard for your job to let the both of you go at the same time, because most jobs, they require, okay, this person has to go on this certain period of time and this other person too. So it's going to be very hard for the two of you to go on vacation together. And even if you manage to go together on vacation, it's not going to last a long time, because eventually you two have different schedules, and maybe you or your partner might be asked to come back to work before you. And I understand a lot of us are young and very impulsive, but as you get older, you start to, I'm not going to say master, because it's still a process for me, but I will say that it's a journey when you learn how to master your emotions. One time, a client for my company asked me out to dinner, and it was a steakhouse around Midtown. And I was really tempted. I was this close to taking her up on the offer, but eventually I had to decline. It was going to create an awkward situation because at the end of the day, let's say, and before I go any further, I didn't know what her intentions were. Was it a hookup or was it to pursue a relationship or something romantic? I don't know. But whatever the case is, what if the situation had gone sour? What if the date had gone sour? You never know. And okay, let's say it went well, but how long is that gonna last? How long is that relationship gonna keep going? I think my boss would have been too happy if they placed me at a certain site and then they start finding out that I'm dating a bartender or I'm dating bartenders left and right.